Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I have a lot of notes on Yugoslavia, and I just keep putting it off because I can't put it together into a coherent story. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try, and we'll just see what happens here. So on my notes here, I do have an interesting quote to start off by Theodore Dalrymple. And in a video titled The Roots of Europe's Crisis, at 22 minutes, Theodore Dalrymple says something very interesting. So think about Yugoslavia. That's our current. Think about the way that it was a disaster of chaos around World War I. It was locked under control of communist dictatorships from 1940s on up till it fell apart, and then the chaos continued, right? So think of that. Quote, if I had to define the European project, not Yugoslavia, he's talking about the EU. If I had to define the European project, I would propose as a working definition and perhaps even as a mission statement, Yugoslavia. End quote. So he thinks that's what Europe's going to turn into. That's a working definition or a mission statement. So let's go ahead and look at this Yugoslavia building. The Yugoslavia history thing here. Where's I? Sorry. I have notes from videos, and I compiled a lot of notes when I was going to do these videos back years before when my camera was still working. And I don't have any of those notes now, and it's unfortunate, but it's just such a mess. So it's probably for the better that I started over. Let's discuss what I have then. Yugoslavia was created in the aftermath of the Austro-Hungarian Empire's collapse in World War I. So a multi-ethnic empire fell apart. That's where the country comes from. And isn't it similar to the multi-ethnic empire of the EU? They're just trying it again, right? Interesting. America's not a multi-ethnic society. We're just a free country where you can do what you want. The states of the Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs were combined with the previously independent Kingdom of Serbia. The Serbian royal house became Yugoslavia's royal dynasty. So you stick 3-4 groups together, and you take the strongest group and you say, you guys are the leaders. That should work out well. They had a constitution. They had voting for their senator-type people, and you know what I mean. They voted in people, representatives. That all ended in 1929. King Alexander took power, and by a coup, he abolished the Constitution, the National Assembly, all political parties. The new administrative framework was designed to reduce ethnic tensions and rivalries. So under the perception at the time, the country was falling apart. It was bad. It was balkanizing. And in order to stop that, they do away with the Constitution, set up a new administrative framework under a dictatorship. Then a new constitution was adopted in 1931. And get this. This is an interesting note. King Alexander in 1931 abdicated his dictatorship. Now that's a very strange thing at any time in history for a dictator to give up his reins of power. Not only did he do that, but he did it in 1931 when dictatorship was completely in style. Everybody in the world wanted a dictatorship. Germany, France, Britain, Italy, America was trying with FDR. They certainly had one in Russia. Everybody had a dictator. Why not? So he abdicated his dictatorship. He was assassinated in 1934 and succeeded by his son. So now he didn't abdicate power, he just gave up his dictatorship. The assassination was at first blamed on Italy, but his son continued policies to reduce ethnic tensions. And in 1935, Yugoslavia abandoned the gold standard. That's a country going downhill. By 1938, half Yugoslavia's imports and exports were traded with just one country. Guess which one that was? Of course, it was Germany. So, faced with aggressive and violent Italian fascism, Yugoslavia sought closer relations with France. All right? So they're trying to protect, they're trying to maintain freedom. They're reaching out to the Western world. When in the mid-1930s, the French signed a mutual assistance pact with, do you know they did this, these dirty scoundrels? With the USSR. Yugoslavia's relations to France cooled. However, when France surrendered to Germany in 1940, Yugoslavia lost its only foreign protector. Then they were on their own. The Munich Pact of 1938 and Czechoslovakia's fall showed Yugoslavia to be in danger, with parts of her territory being claimed by Italy, Bulgaria, and Hungary. So as Germany goes on the march, Yugoslavia is falling to pieces. Axis powers invade in April 1941. A communist government was established in 1946 after the war was over, under Josip Tito, which he ruled until his death in 1980. Now, most of the story of Yugoslavia, therefore, is the story of the rule of Tito.